The levels of trauma unfolding for people in California right now are complex and so multifaceted, especially when you take racism into account. Yeah, that's right, I had to bring race into this. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it turns out that when disaster strikes, though the fires themselves see no color or race, the people who built the infrastructure sure as hell did. And that is having devastating consequences that are being felt most heavily by minority communities in the Los Angeles area. This is called environmental racism. First, just to be clear, these fires are a direct result of climate change, despite what right-wing media and Trump would have you believe. According to The New Yorker, a 2023 study concluded that the area consumed by summer wildfires in California has increased by 500% during the past several decades, and that nearly all of the observed increase is due to warming. California is not even currently in traditional wildfire season, but environmental conditions that are consequences of a warming planet created the literal perfect storm for these fires anyway. According to Axios, just 0.16 inches of rain have fallen in LA since May, over 8 months, and only 0.16 inches of rain, the second driest of that period on record. Typically, they would have gotten 4 inches in that time period. And according to Axios, studies show that climate change is increasing the odds that windy periods occurring deeper into the traditional rainy season will overlap with extreme dryness. And it is that, combined with the extreme weather changes caused by climate change, also known as hydroclimate whiplash, that created the conditions for these fires. LA saw 2 years of wetter than normal weather, which caused an increased growth of vegetation. Then drought hit, causing all that new vegetation to dry up and creating an abundance of new kindling for fires. The Santa Ana winds, which are generally normal, then combined with the abnormal climate change-fueled drought to literally fan the flames. This disaster is a perfect example of the complex, often hard to predict interplay of the harms caused by climate change. And while the Palisades fire is the largest and the one getting a lot of the attention, it's the Eaton fire that, despite being just over half the size of the Palisades fire, has caused the largest number of recorded casualties. 16 people have reportedly died as a result of the Eaton fire. That fire hit Altadena, a community that is comprised of 58% people of color and was home to a number of black homes passed down through generations. Altadena was one of few places during the civil rights movement that offered housing and loans to black home buyers. According to Axios, recovering and rebuilding efforts typically overlook communities of color who struggle amid the maze of insurance bureaucracies and federal disaster relief programs. Outside of the actual fire zone, environmental harms caused by these fires will continue to develop and will disproportionately affect communities of color. For example, South Central LA is home to an overwhelming percentage of LA's communities of color, largely due to racist zoning and redlining in the early 20th century that barred black people from living anywhere other than in areas near heavily industrialized zones. As a result, according to Scope LA, the South Central area has one of the highest asthma emergency visit and hospitalization rates in the county. The smoke from the ongoing fires and the contaminants like asbestos and lead in that smoke will impact communities that, as a direct result of racism that pushed them into dangerous industrial areas, suffer from respiratory issues at far higher rates than the general population. The true fallout of these fires is impossible to predict and only just beginning, but race and class will absolutely play a role in who gets help and who suffers most.